got to be able to, have fun. I think that's the big thing. And you got to find those moments and joke around and have fun and congratulate guys and let people know they're doing a great job and find the fun in those victories.
Cal, last night was just a neat moment in the ballpark. To see Logan Evans do what he did, to see you do what you did, to see the team come away with a win. What I want to know is what happens after the final pitch of that game. I want to hear about where you go, who you shake hands with, the dance. I want to hear what happens when you go down into the clubhouse before we get in there. Just kind of what is that scene after a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good day, right? You always want to start off the series with a win. Coming in after an off day, guys get a little bit of rest, get to see their families again, get sleep in their own beds. So, pretty joyful moment, just in general. So, obviously winning is the most important thing, but to do it after all that stuff, which is good. And it's a good start to the homestand. It's kind of what we want. And obviously throw on top of it, really spectacular performance from the starter. Bullpen guys got a little extra rest, and on top of it, a good all-around game from the offense as well. So, not much to complain about.
When you go into the clubhouse, what kind of celebrating goes on in there? I mean, we hear sometimes there are sometimes some chants, there are sometimes beer showers, things like that. After a win, what is that like?
Yeah, it's good. It's I remember, early on in my career and even, throughout my career, it's important to cherish and to kind of celebrate the wins. This game is so hard and it's such a long season and it can be so tough on you mentally and physically that you got to find those kind of moments and you got to be able to enjoy them with your teammates and you got to be able to have fun. I think that's the big thing, and it is a game, and like I said, with it being a job now and with how much is on the line and how tough it is, it can become really strenuous sometimes. So you got to find those moments and joke around and have fun and congratulate guys and let people know they're doing a great job and find the fun in those victories.
Is it a situation where one guy kind of takes a microphone and leads those things? Is there somebody who speaks more for the others, or is it something that's just kind of a group?
Yeah, I mean, without, giving everything away, because, you want to keep things in the clubhouse. Yeah, but, we all come together and we have a good time and, we recognize guys who had great games and, guys who helped the club out and, maybe, a young guy did something big and gets a beer shower or, something like that. Those are a little more rare, but it's just a good thing, just especially because, after the games, guys can part or go different ways, and but it's a good to kind of come together, and it doesn't have to be very long, but at least coming together and enjoying the W and getting kind of that team spirit, I guess.
Rah-rah.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You absolutely deserve it. When was your first beer shower? What did you do that warranted your first? And what do you remember about it?
Well, I mean, they're called beer showers, but they're getting a little more. You're getting ketchup and barbecue sauce and pretty much anything you can find in the kitchen. So milk.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's nasty. But mine was in Colorado. I got my first hit and first RBI. So that was my first one, and then I got another one. I hit my first home run, and I think I got another one when I hit my first walk off. Mm-hmm. And then I got one when I hit home run number 100. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Were any of those surprises?
The 100 was.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, usually you just do cool little things like that. Pitchers, strikeouts, wins, saves. Yeah, but I remember I didn't get my first hit. I got called up the day before the All-Star break and didn't get a hit. And then I had to wait the whole All-Star break. And then I went a whole series in Anaheim where I didn't get a hit, and then it was the first day in Colorado. So it ended up being it took me like I don't know, like 8 or 9 days before I got my first one. It felt like forever. I was just so happy to get it out of the way. So.
Oh man, had they ever put you in the cart?
Yeah.
And all of those were you in the cart?
Yeah. That's how it goes.
It's not a big cart.
I know.
Right.
Yeah. It's not.
Okay. All right. Okay, that covers beer showers. Last night's performance, it's so interesting to watch a young pitcher and the progression that they go through. When did preparation for this game begin? And how did you kind of play into preparing Logan for this start?
I mean, well, I think for him, it starts as soon as, you know, he gets done with his last game, which was Chicago, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he preps all week. He does his bullpens, he does arm care, throws, you know, lifts, whatever routine he has as a pitcher. And, you know, for us, it's, you know, it's every day. So, you know, it's not like we're in the NFL. We're not getting a week's time to go out and get ready for a game and watch video and all that stuff. So you get pretty much a day, and, you know, you go over scouting reports, you go over video, you go over, you know, the analytics stuff, you go over tendencies, you go over, you know, history and what you know from the past, and you try to pair it up with what he's doing well at the time and what he does well and his kind of approach and his strengths and weaknesses, and you go from there. So, you know, I think he did a great job yesterday. Took advantage of their aggressiveness. They came out, you know, swinging right from the get-go, and they're putting some balls in play and make some outs, and I think that's why you saw his pitch count was so low for a long time. So,
are you lobbying for him to get out there in the ninth, or is it like, okay, it's
of
it's
course.
time? Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm all about it. I wish he would have gone on that night. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. He said after the game that you two had a conversation in Houston, and he said it was really cool that you could have that talk. Preparation, being on the same page, kind of things like that. And again, not too inside baseball, not too going into it. I saw it, the conversation. I tweeted out a picture last night when I saw it. This is what he's talking about. You do that with young pitchers. You find your moments. How do you find your moment? How do you know it's time to approach them?
I mean, everybody's different, and I just want to try to help them as much as I can. And, you know, I feel like what we've seen in the past couple of years is that a lot of young guys come up here, and you've seen a lot of guys have success, a lot of guys maybe not have success. And, you know, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can help, you know, kind of, you know, bring those guys along a little bit, maybe help speed up the process of that learning curve. So, you know, just trying to help him out and just trying to understand him more, and just really trying to tell him, hey, man, I'm here for you. Like, the best thing we can do is communicate, be on the same page. And, you know, this isn't about Logan Evans. This isn't about Kyle Raleigh, Brian Wu, Bryce Miller. This is about, you know, the Seattle Mariners. We're trying to be on the same page. We're trying to win games. We're trying to, you know, help this club out as much as we can. So it's, I think at the end of the day, you got to realize it's not about you, and then you got to put egos aside, and it's about us and how can we get the most out of you and your performance and help the team out that day. And, you know, he did a great job, and I think he's been doing a really good job since he's been here.
Is he fun to catch? He does things a little differently. He's got the breaking pitches. He's good left and right. Obviously, he just had all left. What's he like to catch?
Yeah, I mean, he's a little maybe different than, you know, from what we've seen from some other guys. You know, obviously, he's a little more breaking ball heavy than some of the others who throw some more fastballs. But, you know, I think that's what makes him unique, you know. And it's hard because he's got like 4 different, you know, off-speed type pitches. He's got a sweeper, curveball, cutter, slider thing that I like to call, and then he's got the changeup. So, you know, it's not just like it's kind of like a guy that throws a bunch of different fastballs, you know, except it's breaking balls. And so even if you're looking for something that's going to break, you don't know which way it's going to break, or you don't know how hard it's going to break. Mm-hmm. And it's tough. And he gets a good amount of movement on pitches, and, you know, he works fast, does lots of strikes, so makes it a little uncomfortable for the hitter.
He's got a serious grounding routine. Do you do the grounding?
No.
Okay.
No.
You like to keep your shoes on in the outfield?
I mean, the grass feels good, but no, I'm not about that.
You might go out there because you like the feel of the grass, and
Yeah.
that's about it. I understand that. Your performance last night, and we're now going to talk more about you, preparing you. You have the first month that you have, and you're like, okay, that's the left side. And now we're seeing the right side. How do you get to and access what you've been able to do with the right side this month?
I think overall, looking back, I didn't get a lot of ABs to start right-handed. So I was a little behind the 8 ball more so than I was on the left side. And, it just took a lot of work. It took an off season. Remember the off season of 23 going into 24. I made it, a big thing. Like, hey, I got to get better as a right-handed hitter. Like, obviously lefty is good and it feels good, but I need to become more of a weapon on the right side, and that way I'm not getting flip flopped, and I'm holding my end of the bargain there. So it all started there. Did a lot of work that off season. And, last year I saw it pay off a little bit, and then, continuing to hammer that stuff down and really just trying to be consistent with my work and my preparation, and really just trying to keep that approach and realize that if I can do that and I can just hone that in every single day and stay there, then, and not try to stray off the tracks, then I'll put it in a good spot and I'll be where I want to be from the right side.
So you've kind of found your spot in the right side right now.
Well, you never really find it,
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry,
No,
not that easy.
It doesn't matter how good you are, you never truly figure it out. You never really, you never really do, because as many you think you got to figure it out, you don't, and the game will, kick your head in the butt and tell you you don't have it figured out. So.
Those are fun days.
No.
No, not fun days. What from your off-season preparation this year has been most helpful to you? You're looking back at everything you did offensively this winter. What has most worked for you?
I think the thing that's most worked for me is it's just knowing your strengths as a hitter and knowing who you are, and really leaning into that, as well as just really consistently trying to do the same thing every day and not, like I said, get off the tracks or change, a swing or approach, or because, it's just too hard. The game's too hard. And at the end of the day, if I can have 600 plate appearances, and every single time I keep the same approach, I'm probably going to like the what I see at the end of the year as far as my production and what I've done and how I've helped this team out. And obviously you're going to change from situation to situation, little things, but overall the foundation has to be the same. And just, I think what I've been doing is just consistently every day, same approach, same thing. And I'm not trying to go and be somebody I'm not. I'm not trying to go change stuff based off who's pitching that day. I'm just really just trying to, hone in on myself, my work, and, from there, just take it into the game and trust it. And I think that's a big word for me, is trust in the box. So.
And you're trusting right now in the work.
Trying to, yes.
Again, not always the same every day, I'm sure.
Right.
Have you had more time as you've gotten more into your career and gotten more experienced and, have routines and whatnot? Do you have more time in season and out of season to focus on your offense?
More time in season.
Yes, and
focus?
out season to focus on offense.
I'd say so, just because, there's so much, when you get into the league, there's so much to learn, and I'm still learning, but you get in the league, you just don't, you have so much to learn as far as scouting reports, pitchers, strengths, weaknesses, how to pitch in the big leagues, things to do, things not to do, tendencies. There's just so much on the defensive side and catching side that, that does take up a lot of time, in the sense of, that comes first. That's the most important thing. And then, like I said, not that you ever figure it out completely, but you start to learn things throughout the league and learn how pitchers operate, and you maybe, all right, well, I've seen this situation before as a catcher, and, this is how we approached it when it was good, and when it went bad, this is how we approached it. So you learn those things. I think that's the most important thing, is just learning from experiences. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I would say that it does allow you to play a little more free, focus on some things maybe that go by the wayside when you are trying to learn that catching aspect of it.
Very nice. We're going to end with a fun one. I hope it's a fun one.
All right.
All right. You got a big interview today. Not this one, but you've got MLB Network. I can't help but notice. I mean, you've got a nice haircut going right now.
I did get one the other day, yeah.
And you said you got it in Houston, in the Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You get most of your haircuts in, I imagine most of you guys get most of your haircuts in clubhouses.
Yeah, so I guess it's like a perk of, you know, being in the big leagues. But yeah, you get, you know, clubbies are pretty great about setting up stuff for you and helping you and your families out. So, you know, a couple, maybe once or twice a homestand, bringing in a barber, you know, because guys, you know, we're here for so long and, you know, this is pretty much where we are. We don't have a lot of time to go outside and do, you know, run errands, things like that. So they bring in barbers, they bring in people to wash your car, you know, just little things like that. And little, maybe if you have to run an errand, you got to get a gift for somebody or I don't know, whatever it is. They're awesome about doing that stuff. And it just makes your life a lot easier. You know, I really honestly can't say enough about the clubbies, especially the guys here. They're just, they're awesome. So
they're the best.
They are the best. They literally, they're lifesavers.
And one of the neatest things, I mean, when we come home, they're there waiting, and they're they could not.
Hey, go in there. We're busy.
He's got work to do. Bryce Miller there. What really impresses me is their attitude. As always, they are just up and all the time, just very. We're around you. We're going to be, we're going to be up here. No problem.
Oh, they're great.
Our energy is going to be good. Our attitude's going to be great.
They're awesome. They've become like my family. This is crazy. They're around so much, and they're such awesome people. Like you said, they're great energy all the time, and they're always here, and they're here for the guys, whatever they need, and they make, they're the first ones here, last ones to leave, and that's not an easy job. So, hats off to them and everything they do. And like I said, they make players' lives so much easier. So a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that couldn't go on without them. So.
They help with the hair, and that brings me back to the original question here. So you actually trust barbers and somebody could pay him off. Like an Astros fan could say, hey, screw this up. Just give him a ridiculous haircut. Yeah. That's a lot of trust. Who is the best haircut in the league? And have you ever gotten one that you were like, oh no, on the road?
Yeah, it is tough when you're changing barbers a lot because, So I found that the best way to do it is usually just find a picture, keep one in your phone, and then show it to them. Because if you try to explain it, sometimes they don't do a good job. No, the guy in Houston did good. Most of the guys do a really good job,
Okay.
And a lot of them will end up, they cut hair they do it for a living, this traveling kind of thing. So a lot of guys will cut hair. Like the guy in LA does the Chargers and the Angels.
Okay.
And, so. They know what they're doing. They have a pretty good idea. So
those are big league haircuts.
Yeah, no more. I've had a few bad ones with great clips and super cuts. So,
but you didn't have the picture, probably.
It's hard to beat though. Like $15 for a haircut, it's a deal.
But the best haircut is from.
Best haircut. My aunt grew up cutting my hair. So she was. I gotta give her a shout out. She grew up cutting my hair and she did a bunch of stuff and. We have some funny stories. So she's my favorite by far.
We might need a picture.
Of the good or bad?
Yes.
Yes, both.
All right, that's another show entirely. Cal, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.